Yo, what's up guys, it's Tony here, and today we are here with our Week 8 battle of the APA Academy, Season 1. This week we're going up against Lynxford and his South Florida Bulus. Make sure to check him out, his YouTube, his Twitter, all that will be in the description below. But anyways, we're going to hop into our battle. We are currently sitting at 4-3. I'd really like to go into the final 4 weeks with our new draft on the positive side rather than neutral, 5-3 instead of 4-4. I think he's currently sitting at 2-5, maybe 3-4. I really don't remember, but nonetheless, we're not going to underestimate him. I've learned recently never underestimate players and the point that they may make, and Lynx also has a very scary team because he has the sand and drill, which is a problem for most teams, so we're not going to underestimate. We're just going to go into this battle guns blazing. And so let me just read off our teams. This is going to be our final week using this team, and we'll have a new fresh team for the final 4 weeks, and hopefully in the playoffs we will have a mesh of all 3 teams and hopefully try and take that crown. But anyways, we'll read off both teams. We are still packing the Mega Gallade, the Salamence, the Mamoswine, the Reniquist, the Vaporeon, the Aromatisse, the Alolan Milk, the Rotomo, Ambipom, the Magmortar, and the Klefki, whereas he has the Clefable, Excadrill, Alakazam, Jellicent, Roserade, Gligar, Machamp, Golbat, T-Tar, Stetlin, and the Mega Ampharos. So I'll quickly read off the team that we are bringing with us. We got a AV Muck with Poison Touch, Gunk Shot, Knockoff, Shadow Sneak, Ice Punch. Main problem with this set, I was having a little bit of some full move slot syndrome. I didn't know if I wanted Ice Punch or Drain Punch, or I guess Brick Break. It didn't get Drain Punch, I don't think, but Brick Break for T-Tar or Ice Punch. For the Gligar, I ultimately decided I wanted Ice Punch, and as you can see, he didn't end up bringing Gligar, so Drain Punch may have been or not Drain Punch, I said it again, Brick Break may have been the better play, but you'll see how that ends up mattering, or how that affects the match when the replay comes to mind. We're running enough speed, I think, to outspeed a Clefable with a little bit of speed investment to it, and otherwise we're pretty much max Spadaf AV adamant. Next we have our Mega Gallade, just 4 attack, Drain Punch, then Headbutt, Poison Jab, Knockoff. I remember when building this team, I was also having another 4 move slot syndrome. I didn't know whether I wanted, I originally had Poison Jab over Drain Punch, but then I couldn't hit T-Tar. Ultimately, in the end, I decided to bring Drain Punch over Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak would obviously help with the Zam. And you'll see, it really doesn't end up mattering too much in the match, but nonetheless, it was definitely something that was giving me problems. I was adamant, 228 speed, max attack. I had a Fizz Def Rotom Heat, 52 speed. I think that outsped Golbat with a little bit of speed. Leaf Storm, HP Ice, Foul Play, Defog. Leaf Storm obviously for main stab, hit that T-Tar, HP Ice to hit the Roserade, the Golbat, the Gligar, and the Ampharos, and then Foul Play so that we could hit the Excadrill pretty hard, because if we Leaf Stormed and killed something in the back and then he came in with Excadrill, we kind of have trouble hitting it pretty hard, and this is my main Excadrill answer, so bringing Foul Play was nice, and then Defog obviously to get rid of rocks. Next we have a Fizz Def for Matisse with Moonblast, Wish, Protect, Heal Bell. Moonblast obviously just for main attack, Wish, Protect. Wish obviously to heal up members of our team. Our Rotom's not able to run. We didn't run Pain Split, so its main source of healing would be its leftovers, and the Wish Pass from the Aromatisse, Protect, guarantee we get our Wish, and Heal Bell in case of us getting maybe status with Clefable, T-Wave, or something like that, or just getting Toxic. Next we have a Spadaf AV Reniquist. This really deals with any of his special mons on his team, his Alakazam, his Roserade, and kind of his Mega Amp. Mega Amp was just overall problem for my team. So, but it did a good amount. Just Psychic, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast hit his entire team. I just put Knockout as a final move, just because I didn't have anything else I wanted to run. And we have 52 defense. I think that lives T-Tar, a Jolly T-Tar's Crunch from full, if I'm not mistaken. And lastly, we have a Berry Mamoswine with Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Stealth Rocks. Rocks are just like a move I slapped on because I didn't need anything else, because 2 stabs really hit his team really hard, and we were even able to run Adamant, so this just really helped me a lot. So that's the team we're bringing. You can see it on the screen as well. And he decided to bring the Clefable, the Roserade, the T-Tar, the Alakazam, the Mega Ampharos, and the Excadrill. So definitely a very scary 6 he decided to bring here, and things aren't looking too great. I mean, I'm glad to see like no Gligar, no Golbat. Those 2 kind of look like they would be hard for my team to break a little bit, especially the 6 I brought, but luckily didn't bring them. I decided to lead off with the Alolan Muck here because I felt it dealt really well with anything on his team except for T-Tar and Excadrill. If he led with T-Tar, we had the free switch into Aromatisse. If he led Excadrill, we had the pretty free switching into Rotom Mo. So we're just gonna lead off with our Alolan Muck, like I just said. I told him whenever we had the battle, good luck, have fun. I'll say it now though, even though it already happened. Good luck, have fun, Lynx. But yeah, I'm just gonna lead with the Alolan Muck, and he is gonna lead the Clefable, which is definitely great for us. Here, I'm just gonna click the Gunk Shot. I don't think he goes Excadrill here. And it does decent damage to anything else on his team other than the T-Tar, which he actually does opt to go into. But nonetheless, we could get the Gunk Shot off and maybe get a Poison, but no, we are actually going to end up missing the Gunk Shot. Kind of unfortunate. It would have been nice to get some damage and maybe even the Poison, but it's whatever. Here, I decide I want to go into my Mega Gallade here, because I could have gone into my because I could have gone into my Rotom, but I decided that I did not want to, or I wanted to keep it as healthy as possible for Excadrill, and he could not outkill my Mega Gallade from full, and so I just decided to go hard into my Mega Gallade. But he actually goes for the DD, and I'm going to swap into my Aromatisse to scout for the Z move, because I felt about my Aromatisse was the most expendable member at this point, and I felt like a Z move was the only way that he killed me that I could think of. And so I'm just gonna swap here. I see actually gonna click the Z Shadow Claw here, which I wouldn't have actually lived a regular Shadow Claw at +1, but no, actually no, I think I would have, but I would have because then I would have Drain Punch and then I wouldn't have died to sand damage. But nonetheless, I am going to take a fat chunk with the Aromatisse from that Z Shadow Claw, and I really can't swap into anything else, so I'm just going to stay in and get chipped with some Moonblast. Maybe somehow I can 2 KO it with Moonblast, but he's actually going to set up another DD, as I'm going to Moonblast and only do about 40% to him, and right now it's not really looking too good for me. However, I'm going to click Moonblast again, just let myself go down, because if I do get another Moonblast off and he like DDs a 3rd time, I could just come in with Mamoswine the next turn and Ice Shard. But he's just going to click EQ, and the fact that he clicked EQ means that he only has 1 move slot left, EQ Stone Edge, or EQ Shadow Claw DD, and because he didn't just kill me at +1 with Stone Edge, I'm definitely thinking that his last move is Crunch. I definitely think he has to have one of the 2 stabs, so I'm thinking Crunch is his final move. And I can level +2 Crunch with the Rotom and pressure this thing. So I'm just going to go into it and quick Leaf Storm. I'm not going to overpredict. I don't want to mess around with this T-Tar. That it was very scary for my team to deal with now that I see that he's an offensive DD set. As he's just going to go straight into his Roserade. And he's just going to go into his T-Tar here. I decided to go into my Reuniclus. I could have gone Muck, but I felt Muck was very obvious, and so he might have HP ground predicting that. So I decided to go into my Reuniclus, like I just said, as he doubled back into his T-Tar, and even though this looks kind of bad, I'd rather have my Reuniclus in, because it can take a Crunch from neutral from this T-Tar and kill it with Focus Blast. Whereas if I was out with Muck, he would just be able to set up the DD pretty much for free. So I'm just going to click the Focus Blast here. I can't allow him to set up the DD for free, because the T-Tar has proven to be a really big problem with this 6 I brought. And he's actually going to fear the Focus Blast and going to swap out into his Clefable. I'm going to miss. It's really not that big of a deal, though. I'm not really going to do too much anyways. Here I'm just going to go into my Muck, and he's just going to set up his Rocks, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm swapping a good amount. So Rocks are really going to chip down my team a lot. so I definitely kind of want to get the defog later. Here, I'm going to predict the Excadrill to come in and click knock off, and I'm going to knock off its Life Orb, do about 55-60% to him. So that's really nice to get those Life Orb off, because now it's going to be hitting not as hard. And here, he's going to go into his Roserade as I swap out into my Rotom, which is my dedicated switch into the Excadrill. So good play on him, he's just making a bunch of good plays. I really wanted to stay in here and thinking that he would over-predict and swap, but I decided here just to make the safe play and go with my gut and go into my Reuniclus, as he does just click the Sludge Bomb, and so we do make the right play. As he clicks Sludge Bomb, we did not want to catch that with our Rotom, and we're going to eat it. Here, I'm going to click Knock Off because I felt like it was a rather neutral play. As he just can go into his Clefable here, so I just get to knock off his leftovers, which is pretty nice because now I can 2 a KO for sure with Poison Jab with my my Mega Blade, although it was pretty much already in my role. But nonetheless, now we can definitely do it from full. But here, I decided this is probably the best chance I'll ever get to defog with our Rotom here. So rather than going to our usual muck on this thing, I decided to go into my Rotom here and get the defog off. I knew I could take 2 Moonblast, and I could always just swap out and then get the Wish maybe later in the game. But no, I would be able to get the Wish. I just wanted to let my Rotom go down, I think, at this point to get the defog off. As he's going to Soft Boil, because I guess if I Leaf Storm, then he'd be able to Soft Boil back up to full, and Leaf Storm wouldn't be doing that much, because obviously I'd be at -2 at the time. So, here I know that he would probably just reset the rocks again, but there wasn't really a lot I could do about it, so I decided to go into my Muck here. I'm going to click the Gunk Shot, because once again I feel like it was pretty free. If he decides to go into Muck, I believe I may 2 a KO, depending on how much HP investment he gets, and if I get the Poison, it was pretty much always a 2 a KO. So I'm just going to click the Gunk Shot, as he's just going to let his Clefable go down to my Muck, as I'm going to Gunk Shot a second turn, and I'm going to land both luckily and take out this Clefable. And obviously, I think part of the reason why he let his Clefable go down here was so that he get the free switching into his Tyranitar, which he decided to go into. But unfortunately, there really isn't a lot I could do about that. So I'm going to go into my Rotom here, because Rotom can pressure him. He can only get up 1 DD, because Leaf Storm will obviously kill this thing. If he decides to go for a second, want to get greedy. So he is going to set up the DD, but he can only get up to +1 here. And so I'm just going to let my Rotom go down here as I click Leaf Storm. And he is going to end up actually confirming in a second here, once it catches up, that his last move is Crunch. So I was correct about his last move being Crunch earlier. And so here I decide to let him kill me, and I make a really big misplay. Here, I know I can level +1 Crunch from this T-Tar, but despite the fact that I saw Shadow Claw earlier in the game, or I saw the Z move, and obviously the only Ghost move it gets, it's Shadow Claw, I just completely forget about Shadow Claw, and he can just gonna be able to pick up the +1, or the kill at +1 here. He gets the crit, doesn't matter at all, but that sucked, because I left my Mega Blade pretty much for nothing there. But I know Memo could take a hit here because he doesn't have Stone Edge, and we scare him out with EQs. So we're just gonna click it, as he's just gonna stack off his Mega Ampharos at this point. So Mega Ampharos didn't even get to Mega this game, which is nice since we had little for it at this point. Other than like the Reuniclus, I guess. But honestly, at this point, it isn't looking too good because of that Mega Blade misplay. So here's going to go into the Alakazam. I need my Mamoswine healthy so that I can take a Crunch from that Tyranitar. And so I decided to go into my Reuniclus, as he just clicks the Energy Ball. And we're going to eat that up. And because we are Max Badaf AV, I'm just able to eat up these Shadow Balls. I'm able to eat 2 of them, as I get the Shadow Ball twice back. And we're going to be able to pick up the KO on this thing if he decides to stay in, because we're going to do obviously like 90%. We're going to get a crit, doesn't matter, because if anything, we just Shadow Ball plus Ice Shard killed, so that really didn't matter at all. Here we're gonna live Shadow Ball, his second Shadow Ball on a Sliver, and we're just gonna click Psychic. Not really sure why I clicked Psychic, but it didn't really end up mattering. And we're gonna kill this Alakazam. Here you can go into a T-Tar, and I'm gonna let my Reuniclus goes down, because if he like misplays in DDs and I Focus Blast the T-Tar, that would be amazing. He's not gonna do that though. He's just gonna crunch and kill my Reuniclus. So obviously, no, he didn't make a bad play in my eyes. Although if he did DD and I missed the Focus Blast, I think that may have been game. But here I'm going to go into my Menace line here, and he does not have an EQ switching at this point. So he's just going to let T-Tar go down so he can get a clean switch into his Excadrill. And at this point, I'm sure to him it looks like he won because he had to sweep my team, and he just kills with Iron Head and EQ because I have Muck and Menace line left. But thankfully, because of our Berry prep, we are able to take this Iron Head and kill him with EQ. However, he is going to unfortunately get the flinch. I probably should have Ice Sharded twice, because over EQing plus Ice Sharding, or I guess EQ would have killed, so I wouldn't have had to Ice Shard afterwards. But instead of, I should have Ice Sharded twice instead of EQ, because I knew he couldn't kill me with the Iron Head, because we knocked off the Life Orb and the Berry. But obviously I'm gonna go down, and my only hope is to kill this Shadow Sneak here with the Muck, and fortunately we do. So now it comes down to his Roserade in the back versus my Muck, and in my eyes I'm pretty sure he's Scarf just based on his team. And so if he's Scarf, we're pretty much able to take this game. The only way I think he wins if he has Sleep Powder. He is going to click the HP Ground. We're going to eat it up because we are max Spadef AV. We're near max Spadef. We're going to click the Ice Punch here. I didn't want to risk the Gunk Shot miss. And we are going to get the Freeze here just to put salt in the wound. It isn't going to matter though, because as you're going to see, we're going to pick up the Shadow Sneak kill. And that's going to be the game. We're going to win 1-0. So GG to Lynx. That is the game. Like I was saying earlier though, probably should have Ice Sharded twice over EQ, because I did kill with 2 Ice Shards and I wouldn't have risked the flinch, but I didn't at that point. But it's okay, because we're going to win 1-0. So that game, we are now moving on to 5-3. I think we were like maybe 5th seed after week 8. I'm recording this towards the end of week 9. So I don't exactly remember. Standings are going to be a little bit messed up because I've already played my week 9, other week 9s have been played, etc. So it's not going to be completely up to date. But I think we were somewhere around like 5th or 6th seed. And we're now moving on to the final 4 weeks with a positive record. However, these final 4 weeks are definitely going to be the most difficult weeks of the entire season. Of the regular season, we're facing off against, Steven, one of the best coaches in my eyes, just overall in the format, like in the small scale league format. Like, so basically I'm saying Steven's, like, in my eyes, one of the best battlers outside of the big names such as maybe Gypsy, MV, etc., Wolfie. And I definitely think Steven's a really good coach. We play against we play against Root, who is pretty much throughout this entire season remained up there in the top like 4 seeds. We also played Jacob, who took over I think like week 6, so he's gonna have his own draft for these final 4 weeks, and he is once again with Steven, where I think he's one of the best coaches, non-big name coaches in the draft week format. So that's definitely very scary. And I think I also play who I think I've like maybe taken a game off of him and taken one off of me. So I definitely can't underestimate it whatsoever. So this is going to be a very, very tough final 4 weeks. And although even though we are currently 5-3, there is still a very good chance that we don't make playoffs. 5-7 does not sound like a playoff record team to me, so definitely not looking too good right now. But hopefully we can clutch it out a couple of these times in the final 4 weeks. Like, I think maybe if we just get 2 wins out of the 4, we should be able to make playoffs. But we'll see what happens when we get to that. But anyways, enough rambling. Once again, GG to Lynx. Next week we're facing off against Steven. Speaking of which, Steven and his Hartford Wailmers. who is currently second seeded in the league, and so that ought to be an interesting game. But anyways, I would thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more league content. I am joining a couple other leagues that I will be uploading, so it won't just be one battle a week. It will be soon 3. So hopefully check that out. That'll be in coming up to the channel soon enough. But anyways, this has been Shady, or this has been Tony, and I'm out. Peace.